Okay.
And we are now recording. So, just to set a bit of background context, I am here with a former coaching client. And what I'd like to do now is just get from some feedback from this client as to kind of how it went. So, let's start with finding out who this client actually is. So, do you want to tell us what your name is and where you're from? Let's start with some brief introductions.
Oh, cool. Hi there, Andre. So yeah, my name is Susan Little. I am in business. Now been in business in the travel business for 3 years. And yeah, started my entrepreneurial journey during the pandemic, which strange to some people, but it was actually a perfect time because we all had a lot of downtime. So I was able to dig into the travel business and into my new venture and basically get to grips with what I'm about, what I was taking on.
Okay.
And with that came the needs, because I was new to the whole entrepreneurial, business side of things. I felt that I needed some guidance because it was all new to me. I knew it was something that I was passionate about and that I wanted to do, but I just felt like I needed some guidance and a steer into how to navigate my time and, you know, how to basically move forward with my business.
Okay. So, where is your travel business based? Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. So it's a home-based travel agency, and it's a completely remote business. So I can work anywhere in the world from my phone, laptop, as long as you've got Wi-Fi. It's operational, um, and yeah, that's it.
Okay. Okay. So, you're home based, and where is home for you?
Okay, so I currently reside in London, in East London. Originally, I'm from Northamptonshire in Welling Borough. Yes, I've been in London now just over 32 years, I think.
Okay. So, you mentioned there that you decided you wanted to start a business and you felt like you needed some guidance.
Mhm.
Now, what was it that, kind of initially attracted you to do some coaching with me? Did you feel like I could maybe offer you that guidance?
No, absolutely. I mean, obviously, I know you for a long time, also being family. And I know that you've been an entrepreneur for many years, a successful entrepreneur. So, it was a no-brainer really. So, when you started your coaching, I knew that this was something that was definitely going to be beneficial to me because, you had experience of both successes and pitfalls. So, I think people who have only had success maybe wouldn't understand or would be able to navigate me in the right way if they hadn't had those pitfalls as well to have learned from and to be able to give advice.
Sure. And you'd never done any coaching before, any kind of
No,
coaching before, right?
no,
So,
not at all.
okay, so because you'd never done any coaching before, what was your kind of expectation going into it? What did you, think was going to happen?
I'll be honest, what I was looking for was hand holding, basically. um I just needed someone to be there that I could sound off, because yes, I'm in business as a independent travel advisor, but I'm also part of a bigger group. And yes, there are people within my business that I can go to for advice and what have you, but you know we're all in business on our own essentially. So I wanted to not be having to go to the people within my team on a regular basis, no, constantly asking for things and asking for that guidance, because I felt like I should know it, even though I was new to the entrepreneurial life. But I knew that, as a coach, that's what you would be there for. If I had any issues, if I had any concerns or doubts or anything, that I know that I'd be able to come to you for
Okay.
that guidance.
Okay. And did you have any apprehensions about coaching before you got started? Was there anything that you felt, oh, I don't know if I want to do this because of XYZ reason?
Slight apprehension and it all comes down to, self-belief. You know, am I going to be good at it? And I know that sounds silly because, you know, you're coaching, and therefore, you're giving me what I need, or or what I'm asking for. So it's not a case of being good at it, but that was one of my concerns, that maybe I'm going to make a mess of it, maybe I'm going to be wasting your time and mine. But thankfully that wasn't the case.
Okay, good stuff. All right. So what was the format of the coaching? How was it delivered to you?
You had a great online tool, which with modules that I could work through. And each week you took me through part of the module and would expand upon it, set me homework, which was really helpful, because it's all well and good sort of having that weekly session, but then sort of like working on myself and doing the homework throughout the course of the week made it sort of like stay alive in my head for a little bit longer, and and carried on.
Okay. So you mentioned some resources there that you were provided. You said some stuff online. Do you want to dive into little bit about that and how you maybe found those things useful? What exactly specifically were those resources and how did you find them useful?
As I said, it was an online tool. It was a breakdown of the program. So different sections provided different information, and basically it was like an A to Z of starting your business. So, and it also brought in things about personal development, not just about, it wasn't just about the business side of it, but it also brought into things, personal development, self-belief, and mindset. Because mindset is really, really important when you're embarking on any kind of business. You have to have your mindset right, and you have to have that self-belief. There's lots of different modules to help me develop those aspects, I guess.
Sure, yeah. And I recall you actually read my book too, didn't you?
I did, and I'm going to have to order another copy, because I have been looking for that. I put it in a safe place, and I've actually made so many notes in it,
Sure.
and I can't find it, so I will need a new
Right.
copy.
And what's interesting about that, I remember you telling me the story. You said you find it very, very difficult to read.
Mm,
I remember you saying you find it
mm,
difficult to read, but when you read my book, you
yeah,
thought it was incredibly easy, right? Is that the case?
100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, when I read a book, if I'm not gripped within the first 2 pages, then it gets chucked away. But I mean, not literally, I read your book from cover to cover, and went back. There's a couple of paragraphs or chapters that I went back. I found the chapter, especially, well, lots of chapters I found really interesting and like useful, but like the chapter on colors, what colors, especially like in your advertising, in your social media posts, what colors, you know like tweak certain I
Sure.
can't think of the word.
It's the psychology, right? So
Yeah,
when you're creating a brand, the colors go into the brand, and that's the
sure.
psychology that attracts people to that brand.
Right. So I found that really helpful. And your analogy, I can't remember it fully, but your analogy, the story that you told of the Kardashians. I mean, I love the Kardashians. I'm very sad, sorry.
Sure.
But that resonated with me. That I was able to, and that's what I found. The book was very relatable.
Mhm.
That's what it was. It was
Yeah.
very down to earth, even for someone like me who's like, you know, first level, entrepreneur journey. I just found it very relatable, very easy to read. Yeah, it's brilliant,
Awesome.
really good.
So as well as the book and the online courses that you went through, you mentioned weekly coaching calls that we did together. Take me back to the weekly coaching calls and maybe talk me through some of the key moments that you found very, very useful.
Um, Gosh, honestly, there's so many. It's been a little while, but there's during our time of coaching. I mean, it was at the beginning of my business, which was 3 years ago now. Um, and honestly, at the time, yes, I felt I needed handholders and I needed some guidance. But it's only maybe in the last year or so that there's things that we went through that only have started to make sense to me now. Um, and there's tools that, you know, during our weekly sessions, um, you know, I've developed things like okay, so I have a tendency to overwhelm myself with trying to do everything all at once. And, you know, just a simple thing, and I've actually got it written down on a post-it note at my computer desk, the words chunk and filter.
Mhm.
I mean, I swear to God, that's my mantra. That is my Bible. It's like, when I get I'm like, chunk and filter, chunk and filter, chunk and filter. And to people listening who don't know what that means, basically, it's like, you know, you've got lots of tasks to do, and it's like chunking down into small bites, and then filter, and also reverse engineering as well. It's like, you want to get to somewhere. How can you get there? It's like, instead of thinking of the final destination, reverse it and think of the small steps that you need to make in order to get to where you want to get to.
Yeah, sounds great. And often a lot of people miss that, don't they? These little tools and strategies that you can kind of use to make yourself more productive and move
Yeah,
your business forward. So
yeah.
talk to me a little bit about your business now and how it's kind of helped you to move it along.
Um, well, definitely with the personal development side of things, I feel like it's given me more confidence, because for start, I mean, I know you've been wanting to do this for a little while, and I've been like, no, 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 because you know, I didn't want to be on camera, I didn't want to, you know, public. I know there's no audience here as such, but I know that it's going to be, you know, sent out to a wider audience. And before, I wouldn't have done this because my confidence levels were very low. But the personal development is made my posture a lot stronger. And, you know, I know about my business, I can talk about my business, and I can do that with confidence and, you know, authentically. And yeah, it's given me better posture and confidence.
Mm. So that's one of the key aspects that a lot of people kind of miss in business, right? So there's the business skills, the business acumen, but
Mm,
mindset actually is very,
mm,
very key towards it. And are you
100%.
saying that, you know, helping you to develop your mindset was, you know, tremendous, you know, tremendously helpful in getting you to where you are now?
Hmm.
Okay. So talk to me a
Definitely.
little bit about, you know, the comparisons between when you first started, what you had versus where you are now and what you have now.
So I didn't know what I was doing in the beginning, had no idea. I've always known I was going to end up in some aspect of travel. I've always loved traveling. So when the opportunity arose, I was like, okay, yeah, jump in. But I didn't know what I was doing. I was basically running blind. And as I said, there are tools within the business to help me, which was great. But just having that extra hand holding from yourself, that was like really invaluable. So I've gone from someone being, which people may find surprising, but very timid when it came to talking about my business, or just basically vocalizing what I'm about,
Mhm.
what I'm doing. You know, I shied away from telling people that I knew what I was doing. I've got nothing to be ashamed of. You know, I'm in the travel business. It's not nothing dodgy. It's completely legit. But now I am like 3 years later with, you know, your help and you know, the other tools I've had. Um, I just feel a lot more confident, and
Stuff.
just
Yeah.
confidence. But confidence is
My
some.
understanding is you've actually got a team underneath you now,
Sorry,
team
absolutely, yeah,
that's helping you to do stuff and you're putting stuff out on
absolutely.
social media and
Yeah. So yeah, I now have a team of 9, which has brought me to the level of what we, in our business called the gold builder, and that just comes with extra benefits. Just means I get paid more money. So I'm also coaching my own team as well, which before I probably wouldn't have felt confident in doing. But you know, my team come to me for advice and for coaching, and I have weekly sessions with a couple of my people in my team, which also helps me, because when I'm talking to them, you know, and they'll ask me questions, things come into my head, and like, you know, even things that, you know, you've taught me, you know, like, as I said, the chunk and filter, and then just like having that self-belief. Um, you know, I'm filtering that down, my knowledge now, and then they feel that, you know, if they didn't feel that, you know, I could give value, they wouldn't come to me, I guess.
oh
So,
yeah.
you know, that is obviously radiating through me, in my posture, that they feel that they can come to me, and I can give them some value as well. So yeah, so that's really good. So yeah, so I'm doing pretty well in my business so far. So yeah, it's heads and shoulders from where I was before. And yeah, and so yeah, and I'm going to continue.
That's really, really good to hear. And if people wanted to find you, wanted to use your services, how could they get hold of you?
I'm on both Instagram and Facebook
Mhm.
by my name, Susan Little. That's Susan, and Little is Little.
Mhm.
Or you can email me at twp365@outlook.com. TWP stands for Travel with Passion. 365 is obviously the days in the year.
Good stuff.
So yeah.
Okay. All right. So to finalize, I guess the question is, would you recommend anyone to do any sort of coaching with me?
Absolutely. I mean, not just because we're family, because
Yeah.
but yeah, 100%. As I said, you've given me some real valuable tools that, as I said, I use them on a daily basis still 3 years later. And I would advise anybody who is starting their entrepreneurial journey or midway, whatever, there's things that, as humans, we have them in our mind, or we've been taught things, but they sort of like go to the back of our head and we forget them. And it's just nice to have those little, someone to give you those little tweaks and reminders, and to develop, we have things in us that we don't realize. And, just with a little tweaking, we can develop ourselves even further to sort of like move just that one step ahead in our life, our business. Yeah.
Okay, good stuff. And anyone who's kind of on the fence and not really sure, if they're even going to do coaching or whether they should, do coaching with me, what would you say to those people?
Give it a try.
Yeah.
um yeah, give it a try. Yeah, I mean, I don't feel that you have anything to lose. It's definitely, you know money worth spent on yourself. You have to invest in yourself in order to, you know get ahead. You have to, one way or another. You have to, whether it's, personal development, reading books or whatever. Just getting your book. That would be a great start. I would definitely advise people, as step one, getting your book, reading that. I mean, they will see, if someone like me, who, as you said before, doesn't like to read, just found it a joy to read, and I've read it a few times. Um, yeah, that is a start. And then, yeah, then definitely the personal one-to-one coaching is a must
Okay.
with you.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Susan.
That's okay, Andre.
Mhm.